Warning. This program contains strong language, auditory violence, and mental nudity. It is intended only for mature audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to your uncensored home for World of Warcraft news and opinions. With your host, Berserker, this is Unshackled Fury.
The Time Ways have been unleashed, with unspeakable horrors at our door, as once again we answer the call to arms. So welcome back to your uncensored home for World of Warcraft news and opinions, Unshackled Fury. I'm your host, Berserker. This is episode 128. And on today's show, we're talking the soon-to-be-released patch 10.1.5, Fractures in Time, all the goodies therein, BlizzCon ticket adventures, trading post ratings, and a fond farewell. But first, I want to thank everybody for their graciousness in my sudden summer break, which I, truth be told, had an episode all lined up, ready to go. The original incarnation of episode 128 was like 75% written, had notes, the whole thing. And I just ran out of time. A lot of family things going on, and I just couldn't get around it. Had other obligations, and I was like, you know what? This is a good time. It's a good time to take a break. The second half of this year is going to be fast and furious and very full, both personally, professionally, and of course around here, lots going on. And, you know, to some extent, I have to say, as a content creator, as an influencer, whatever the hell we're called these days, it can be a bit exhausting depending on how much work, effort, patience, and attention you pay to all of this, I don't know, apparatus around us, because I have to give credit to the folks out there that basically live online, that are constantly posting on Twitter or on the forums, or, you know, doing weekly episodes, all that kind of stuff. I can't do it. There's just no way. There's just no way. I don't have time in my life for that. But even at the rate that I keep up with it and try to stay on top of things, it can be just exhausting to be in this sphere of people, if you will. Give you a little insight. It just always a rush to be the first, always a rush to do this and that. And I mean, even just getting kind of caught up in the wake can be a little exhausting. And so even just sort of on the periphery, you just need a break. I think it's good. I think it's good to take a break, have a little time and space for yourself. So that's what I did. I decided that needed to just focus on family and come back bigger, badder, better, twisted steel and sex appeal. You know, that should be the Unshackled Fury mantra. But here we are, back and ready to rock. So I want to thank, first of all, folks, for the response to the last episode that I did. It was a little bigger, a little heavier. Really appreciated all the folks who contacted me personally and, you know, either wanted to check in on things or offer support. I thought it was a good response and a healthy response. You know, sometimes you just got to clear the air about issues, and especially when you're fighting perhaps or having challenges with your online family, which is, you know, as I've talked about many times, sort of your chosen family, and fights happen. It's just the nature of thing. You're around people long enough and stuff will come to the forefront, and you gotta let it breathe. You gotta deal with it, and that's what I chose to do with that guild episode, which apparently there's only been 2. I looked on the Warcraft YouTube. I guess they only did 2, or they're only releasing 2. I don't know. Maybe there's more coming. But again, I really want to say how much I appreciate the folks who reached out. It meant a lot. And second, appreciate folks also asking me about the Hammerfall show. Yes, the homie Rommel and I took our progeny to the Hammerfall show here nearby in Sacramento, north of Sacramento, actually, Roseville, at the Goldfield Trading Post. Not a big place, basically a bar. And for a band as big as Hammerfall, who play these metal festivals in Europe, which are just like a sea of people, 100,000 people, to be in a tiny little bar with, I don't know, maybe 150 people. I mean, and that might be stretching. There were not a lot of people there. But to be able to be there, to be up close, Oscar Jondrak, the lead guitarist, through my son and through Rommel's son, pics from the stage, he was pointing them out and throwing them at him. And I mean, those 2 boys made memories for a lifetime that night, and it was so much fun. So appreciate folks asking about that. It was great. And listen, you gotta get that next generation coming up, because someone's gotta do it. Guys aren't gonna, not gonna last forever if there's nobody there to watch them. You gotta show up. Bring the kids. Bring your friends. Bring your spouses. No, bring your parents. I mean, they're older, but bring them all. You never know. So in that vein, we're gonna do a little bit of a different album this week for our metal album of the week. Now, don't panic when you hear this name. Let me just explain a little bit. This is inspired by a few things, personally, and then also it's just a good Diablo 4 soundtrack. And so I want to introduce you to, if you've never heard of the band Hatebreed, just don't worry, relax, don't worry. Band Hatebreed, fronted by the fantastic metal vocalist Jamie Jasta. And the album is Supremacy. It was released back in 2006. And it is just straight up hardcore metal. I mean, there is it's front to back. The whole thing, it's like 13 songs, and I think the whole thing is barely a half hour. It is just banging through, short, fast, just ripping and tearing the whole way through. Great songs on this one include To the Threshold, Divine Judgment, Immortal Enemies, and probably the all-time most, I don't know, barbarian warrior song ever, Destroy Everything. Pretty self-explanatory, but it can, on the surface, you hear, Supremacy by Hatebreed. That sounds a little white supremacist for me. Don't worry. It's not. It's not. I get the name can make you feel perhaps a little oogie. But really what this is all about is about overcoming your own, as Jamie Jasta says, feelings of depression, guilt, sadness, anxiety, and alienation. And how if, you want to help others, you got to help yourself first. And how, there's always hope, but you got to take on your own demons. You got to take on your own issues, and you got to take them head on. And that you can overcome, you can triumph, you can do all those things. That's a lot of what this album is about. It just comes through in a way where if we're like, woo, it's aggressive. I mean, it is. There's no doubt about it. When I'm feeling a certain way, you're damn right. That's going on. It's going loud, and we are banging through. But give it a chance. It is certainly some pretty hardcore metal. I love Jasta's voice because you can actually kind of make out a lot of what he says, which in this, I don't know, vein of metal, I think that metalcore, sometimes it's not as simple or as easy. So Supremacy, Hatebreed, check it out. On that note, with Diablo 4, having fun. Still haven't finished the campaign. I guess a lot of people haven't. Enjoying the hell out of it. It is definitely a lot darker than Diablo 3, and I certainly have a lot of questions about where we're going and what we're doing or where certain people are and this and that. Got a view of Tristram. It didn't look good. We're not on that side of the continent, but ooh, shit. It looks like all the places we were in Diablo 3 are pretty much trashed. Spoiler alert. Whirlwind Barbarian for the win. Y'all can keep your necromancer bullshit over in that corner over there. It's all about barbarian fun. With that being said, it's time for the rage. And came up with something that I think people really ought to think long and hard about. It's an affliction facing our society and as a whole, but there was one, I think, good example that highlights just how far down we've fallen. So why don't we go ahead and get into our rage segment?
Let's rage.
So if you're like me, you spent a little bit of time yesterday working on some tickets. You're looking for some tickets. Looking for some BlizzCon tickets. And it's a little different this year in a format we've never seen. And so, not quite sure what to expect. Never really know. All the years we've done this, chaos has been absolutely supreme. Crashing websites, never really sure what's going on, So this year, show up, Access. They're running the ticketing system for BlizzCon this year. And we knew, as I record this yesterday, July 8th, 10 a.m., tickets go live. I'm like, all right, alarm set, coffee drank, got my APM, working on my APM, getting those actions per minute up. Make sure my pressing refresh fast as I can. Right, get that shit going. Queue up the website, a little bit early. So I'm like, I just want to get everything set. And I find myself in a waiting room. With a countdown that says this page will automatically refresh. Hang out here. And they're showing videos of, Trixie Mattel was the only one I recognized, and they cut off Trixie's interview, which I'm sure Trixie would love. But showing other stuff, and I'm sitting there going, what is this? What am I looking at here? Sure enough, I'm not pressing anything. I'm not doing anything. 10 o'clock rolls around, and it just fires off into a refresh page, and off we went. And I gotta say, this is surely a sign of how far we have fallen. Because in my day, you had to be there on time. You had to be quick. You had to get that one refresh cycle to get into those tickets, or else a quarter second too late and you were out. That's what built toughness. That's what taught those kids lessons. The triumph, the tragedy. You had to be there. You had to have responsibility. This is what is making us soft. Thanks, Obama. This is surely a sign of what is wrong with our society today. What are they gonna do next? What are they gonna do next? I don't know. I'm lost for words. They've made it too easy to get BlizzCon tickets. Did everybody get one? No. This still work as intended? Probably not. But this is the kind of equity we cannot have. It's too easy now. I want stress. I want sweaty palms. I want to be screaming so loud that the neighbors can hear because I missed out on that one refresh cycle. That's how iron sharpens iron. Ah, surely this is just a sign of everything that is wrong. Blizzard these days have gone soft. Their liberal ideals. I can't believe it. Terrible. Will somebody think of the children who can't get into this event because it's age restricted? Oh boy. Well, maybe next year they'll change vendors. They'll go back to the old ways where it's all screwed up. Because that's the only way anybody learns anything. It's by mistake. So with that being said, let's jump into our news. Talk about how that BlizzCon ticket process actually went. I mean, I have to say, it was pretty smooth. It was incredibly smooth. And I was kind of shocked. You know, we showed up on the Access website and there was a waiting room. We popped up 10 a.m. for us West Coast people. And there was a little man with a little progress bar, and he was taking a little walk, and I couldn't tell because they didn't give any indication as to whether or not the little walking man meant we were getting closer to the front of the line or that was the ticket selling out. Because again, our frame of reference for this event selling out is madness. I mean, you know, in the old days, there was the website and it crashed and you had to get in at that. I mean, literally that one refresh cycle. We're talking a second or less. It was fucking bonkers trying to get in. And I think Eventbrite was one that took over 1 year. And they've bounced around to so many different vendors because I think it is technologically far advanced trying to handle the load that we put on these events. BlizzCon it has always sold out within a matter of seconds. And so, you know, little guy walking on the bar, and then the bar kind of fills up in chunks. And I'm like, well, I guess I'm getting closer. And he got to the end and there was a chime, and I'm like, okay, I've already logged into my Access account before. I've already got a prepaid system in there, like my credit card, the whole thing, whatever. It's all in there. So all I got to do is like tickets and go. It pops up, and then there's just a picture of Lilith, and it says, how many tickets do you want? And I press 2 for me and the homie Rommel, and I go to like, whatever, find tickets. No tickets to be found. I'm like, fuck. So I just keep hitting the ticket, find tickets. And eventually it let me in. So again, none of these things are perfect. And it's just a reminder, because I heard that again, like even like a half hour later, it still opened up tickets. Keep trying. Like once you get in the queue, just keep banging away, like, you know, block off an hour or whatever, and just keep banging away, because these sites, these events, it's never done. It's never really done until like it's done. They never take the first done or the second done. It's like the third or fourth done. That's when you know, all right, I got to try next time, or I got to go online or hit up a homie or friend or whatever. So that's what happened for me. I was able to get in. And yeah, I did not pay for the super advanced one. I'm not paying $800, and I don't think the homie Rommel wants to pay $800. So for $300, we get access, and really curious as to what this one-of-a-kind immersive experience into the universes of Warcraft, Diablo, and Overwatch with massive installations, art, and thematic spaces will be. Now, when you say shit like that, that gets my hopes up. I'm like, am I going to be walking through the streets of Stormwind? Is Chris Metzen going to be in a vendor's outfit, like in the movie, over in a corner selling me, I don't know, kebab or something? Like, is it that kind of a thing? Are they building sanctuary in one of the halls? I'm going to go in there and, you know, they're going to try to scare the shit out of me with some, you know, giant slug demon rolling around a corner. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of what it sounds like. It's what it sounds like to me. Mysteries of a Dark Cathedral of Sanctuary. Kicking back in Azeroth. Like that. I'll pay $300 for that. I'm not going to lie. At this point in time, again, I've talked about experiences, right? Experiences are the jam. And for some people, you know, this isn't enough to get them out there because it's an expensive proposition, right? You got to travel, you got to stay, you got to get in. Like, it's not a simple trip. Getting the virtual situation at home for free, I mean, that is hard to beat because you got your own bathroom at the very least. But I'm willing to take a chance on this. I did buy my own tickets. I don't have a press pass or anything like that. Is the bonus roll group putting in for some? Yeah. You know, am I going to try to get one? Yeah. You know, do I think I should be at the top of the list? Probably not. I mean, he's going to listen to this later. I think Manny should be at the top of the list. But you never know. You never know how many you're gonna get or what's gonna go on. But I have my way in, so I'm not terribly worried. And at the very least, listen, I'll tell you what I saw and what happened, and that'll be fun in its own right. And I'm perfectly happy with that. So I'll be going. I'll be getting my drink on at the Hilton. And hopefully some Viking dog business out in front of the joint where they have all the food trucks. So if you're there, if you care, I don't know. I always feel stupid, you know, like one of these, like, oh, I'm a podcaster, I'm a content creator, I can say hi. Like I mean, please, honestly, if you want to come say hi, say hi. I just feel stupid being like one of these people, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna set up a table with stickers and shit. Like, you know, I could do it if people really wanted me to, I guess, but that's not what I had intended. I'm not aware of any of the usual pre-party stuff going on. The what is it? World of Podcasts and Calm Before the Storm and all that. I don't think any of that stuff is happening. So it's just going to be wherever you are having fun, and that's totally fine with me. But yes, if you see me, I will be around. I don't know if you'll know what I look like or how to identify me. I don't know. I've got a bunch of shirts that say Berserker on them just because it's all like, you know, Amon Amarth and Black Label Society shirts and shit. I may even have a jersey from Bonus Roll around here somewhere, if it fits. I don't look like a fucking sausage in that thing. Then maybe you'll be able to identify me on site. I don't know. I'll also be with a very tall, handsome gentleman. And that's the homie Rommel. He is very easy to find in a crowd. But one way or another, gonna be there. I'm really excited. And if you got in, hope to see you. Some people are like, ask for a hug. Like I said, I don't give a shit. You can hug, shake a hand, do a wave, give the Vulcan sign there. You can even flip me the bird. Don't care. It's all good. Take it all. If you didn't get tickets, you got one more shot. July 22nd at 10 a.m. Pacific time. That is when the next group of tickets are going to be released. Like I said, pretty smooth. Get in early. From my experience, apparently it's random assignment as to who gets in. And then once you get in, you have like a 7-minute window to complete your purchase. Give or take. I think it's 7 minutes. But get in. I'd say get in early just in case, you know, get in the waiting room early. I mean, who knows how random it really is. I have a hard time believing that the system would punish people who were very early and then the people who came at the last minute. You know, those last minute people would get somehow in the front of the line, but I mean, it could happen. But you got one more chance. I'm all about experiences, folks. And I'm just saying, if that's something you're about, go check out BlizzCon. You know, we're coming out of the pandemic years, and that was fucking tough for everybody. And that's not to say that it's gone completely. And hell, that's not to say that there isn't con crud, the usual just gross stuff going around that I think we know a little bit more about how that happens after the last 3 years. But if you're willing to take that chance, I'm willing to bet it's going to be an amazing time. But between here and there, in fact, starting on this Tuesday, So in just 2 days from when I record this on the 11th, we have a new patch already. Can you believe that? Fractures in Time, patch 10.1.5. I mean, it's stunning to me that once again they are keeping this release pipeline just pumping. And I genuinely worry. I do worry that they are going too fast. I don't know. It seems like it seems to be kind of a malaise setting in right now, which maybe it's the summertime. I don't know what, but like this last patch had a lot of good stuff in it, but I mean, I'm certainly not logging in as much, and it seems like other people aren't, and I don't know. I think it's the summer. I really do. I think it's the summer. It's the summer malaise, but I almost worry that, we're getting so much good stuff that people are kind of taking it for granted. Like, yeah, fuck it. I'll do it later. I don't really know. Not really sure. But one of the biggest things that we are getting, so let's talk about what we're getting here. We are getting a new mega dungeon. We've talked about this before. The Dawn of the Infinite mega dungeon. 8 bosses. Mythic difficulty. 5 players. And something that I don't know that we've really seen a lot of before, which is that the storyline is going to be progressing through the dungeon. So in order to see how this storyline of this game plays out, you have to go through the mega dungeon, which I'm a little mixed on. I don't like having to rely on groups of other people in order to see how the storyline progresses. I have my raid team. I think within our guild we'll probably get some runs, and God bless them. I'm sure that they will, they will carry me. I'm not gonna lie, they're gonna carry. I don't know. Maybe you can do a Mythic 0, right? Isn't that a thing? To carry you through. But we're at a situation now where the storyline that we have just kind of generally known about for I want to say 12, 13 years now. How long since Wrath? Is that we haven't always known, but we've known for a very long time that Nosdormu, leader aspect of the Bronze Dragonflight, was destined to become Murozond of the Infinite Dragonflight, right? The lightning, black and lightning, badass looking dragons, right? That's his destiny. That he can see all these timelines, see all the time ways. He has all this connection to all this stuff, but that was like the inescapable thing. Like that was going to happen. And now we're at the point where these Infinite Dragonflight forces have come in and are now trying to make that moment happen. So the Bronze Temple, this place that we've gone to, that's finally opening. It's been dormant forever. And now we're going to have to, I guess, chase these folks through the time ways and see if we can stop this transformation from happening and ultimately the corruption of the time ways and a lot of really nasty, terrible, bad shit happening. So, alongside Nosdormu, Chromie, off we go. Where are we going? Who are we going to see? All right, well, we're going to the Bronze Temple. And we're going to see apparently a lot of RP in one of the I think it was the WoWcast, recent WoWcast. The developers talked about how there is more RP in this mega dungeon than there were in some raids. They also said, for the people chasing times in this joint, that they have worked on, or they're working on some ways, or I guess they must know now, ways to get around all that RP if you're pushing time. So fear not. Those of us that want a story, get the story. Those of you that want to push through some other stuff, it looks like you'll be able to do that. First up, we have Kronikar. Kronikar is this giant dragonkin, armored up, has an amazing axe. Oh, it's one of the best axe models I've ever seen, and she's kind of the front line of defense. We got to get through her to get into the temple. Once we get in, we are going to see a physical manifestation of the Time Ways. We're going to get to go in and actually see what the Time Ways look like. We kind of heard about this. You know, it looks like a big dust storm, sandstorm sort of thing with all these portals, and I think we're going to be flying around. But this manifestation of the Time Ways is upset that so far we've had one group of intruders coming through. We can't have another group of intruders coming through. She doesn't want to let us through, but listen, you got shit to do. You got to get through. So I'm sure we will. Eventually, somehow, some way, we find our way back in time at the fall of Galakrond. Now let's go back to Dragon Blight. Why is it called Dragon Blight? What happened there? We know there was a giant skeleton, although I will say the giant skeleton I've seen there, I don't think does justice to the model that they have in there. The Galakrond that we are about to see in this dungeon is fucking huge. It's enormous. And it's bleeding. Its necrotic energies are dripping from the corpse. I love some of these descriptions. And so there are going to be a couple of baddies there we got to deal with to get through the Blight of Galakrond encounter until we get to Iridikron, which still surprises me. I have a feeling we can't possibly kill Iridikron. I would be very, very surprised. Again, I'm not looking ahead, and I'm not trying to spoil anything for you, so if you know, good for you. I don't. I'm just going in and saying, all right, here's one of the primal incarnates. They say he's the most powerful, Iridikron. We still don't really know what the plan is here. Maybe trying to go back in time and undo what the Titans did. You know, maybe you can get control of the Time Ways. You can go back and keep their influence from ever coming to pass. But we have some sort of face-off with him. So Iridikron, and then I guess if something happens, something bad, because it leads us to have a little fisticuffs with Tyr, the Infinite Keeper. So the great Tyr, the Titan Keeper himself, has been, well, he's been altered, and now he's joined forces with the Infinite Dragonflight. Fantastic model. Love the hammer on this guy. You know, anybody that's got this infinite juice, it's such a great aesthetic. I love it. I mean, I don't want Nosdormu to fall, but I'm also saying Infinite Dragonflight's kind of cool, and I mean, just for, I don't know, wow factor, keep him around. But we got to fight this guy, and we got to beat him. And once we get past him, we end up with the alternate version now of Chromie called Morchi. I mispronounced it once. I think I said Morky. It's Morchi. And Morchi also in a timeline where Murozond took power. Morchi is gonna try to fuck our shit up. And if we can get past her, on to the next one is the time lost battlefield, where Alliance and Horde forces are fighting endlessly, and in the middle of it, apparently we are going to face Grom Hellscream from like the legends of old. You know, Grom is the Gromash now, because I think they had to change the name because Grom was like the name of a car model somewhere. But you know, Grom Hellscream, father to another Hellscream, you might remember. Big guy, shoulder pads you wanted. More on that later. Gonna have to fight him until we get to the very end, the very last boss. Dude in some glasses you might have seen in a vision somewhere. Chrono Lord Dios. Ultimate nerd. Transformed into the ultimate dragon. Ultimate infinite dragon. And this guy's traveled back. Try to make this moment happen. Try to ensure that Nosdormu becomes Murozond. And we got to face him. We got to try to take him down. We got to try to stop this from happening. And then from there, I don't know. I have no idea what happens. I don't know if we stop him. I assume we do. But, you know, this whole story of Nosdormu, it's just been in the background for such a long time. I'm really excited to find out, like, how are we resolving this? Like, what are we doing? Like, on the surface, I'd say, you know, well, of course we can't let that happen. Nosdormu was great. You know, had a whole series about the guy. We can't let him fall. We can't let him turn into this other form. Like that would be terrible. Like the future patches would be fucking awful. Having to fight him, it'd be terrible. But it would also be super cool because look at that model. I mean, every time you see it, it's like, ooh, that's some business. So, as much as I hope that we can stop them, maybe they are successful. And for a time, maybe we got to deal with Murozond running around. You know, maybe that's the next patch. He's running wild. Stuff's breaking loose. We gotta save him in a raid. I could see that. That could be fun. But finally seeing this storyline play out, you know, that's something we've waited for quite a long time. And I hope that it's fulfilling. I'm gonna say whatever it is. I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of debate about it. No doubt about that. So 8 bosses, mythic difficulty, 5 players at a time, storylines going through there. Dawn of the Infinite Mega Dungeon coming right around the corner. It may already be out by the time you hear this. At the same time, while the time waves are going wild, we have time rifts. And in the official post, they didn't really say much about what these time rifts were about. And if you've paid attention to the data mining, a little bit here, a little bit there, you know, seen some really interesting character models that I didn't want to comment on until now. So I'm certainly going to talk about those. But the gist of it is that the time streams are unstable because of everything that's happening with the Infinite Dragonflight. The boundaries between these alternate timelines have weakened. And so the way that this is going to play out is that every hour on the hour, go to Tearhold Reservoir in Eldrassus. And there's going to be these events where these, you know, waves of baddies are going to be coming. And then eventually a portal will open and you can go inside that portal and you can fight some sort of a boss in an alternate timeline to try to set right what once went wrong. Oh, God. That's such a great show. If you don't love Quantum Leap, just hang up. And who and what you're going to see in there, well, they've been a little cagey about it. A little bit. So let's talk about loot. They have given some indication about loot that you're going to be obtaining what are called paracausal flakes. Yeah, I guess that's how you say it, paracausal flakes. Which you will be able to trade in for pets, cosmetic items, transmog, mounts, trinkets, a whole bunch of stuff. When you do these time rifts, if I understand this correctly, you will never receive the same end loot twice, that you will always get something unique. There will be other currencies available to ensure that you get the drops that you want, and you'll be able to basically just farm these all the time. If they're up every hour, you can just do it, I don't know, ad infinitum if you really want to, in order to get everything that you need. And so far, they've only really talked about a couple of these timelines here and there. Like, for instance, what if the Scourge had won? Right? That'll be one timeline. The other, which I find probably the most interesting for the reason I'm about to talk about, is that what if the faction war between the Horde and Alliance never ended? What if that had just gone on forever? That Azeroth completely stripped of resources, right? Just a weapons run, just constantly trying to one up each other, and Varian is still alive. My king, my beloved king, who I barely get to see anymore because he got dusted so long ago, makes an appearance in this alternate timeline, and he is not doing well. Although I will say, the reference to Army of Darkness, where he has 2 chainsaws for hands, is fucking great. He's wearing the armor that is the Alliance Heritage armor, so I feel really good about that now. I was like, it's not exactly the variant armor. Well, technically now it is the variant armor up to a point, because the shoulders are the same, some of the other stuff is the same, but he has the 2 chainsaw hands, an eye patch, and he has what looks to be orc skull as a belt buckle. I don't know who that could be. I guess is in this timeline, right? Probably Anduin's dead. Maybe I don't know. Maybe Garrosh got him. Maybe that's Garrosh's head. Like he came back and got him. Maybe that's Thrall's head. I mean, who knows? I know there's another Horde side. Would enlighten this a little bit. But this version of Varian has seen some shit, and as much as I love seeing him, it is kind of sad, and I would like to think that character would be like, you know what? If there's a timeline where I'm dead, but like Anduin's alive and things are at least marginally better, then let's do it. I have a feeling it'll be all right to take him down or whatever we're doing. But always good to see Varian. They're also hinting at, it looks like, other kind of classic boss fights, Illidan, Lich King, stuff like that. That looks really fun. Something you can jump in, if you got time, like, all right, it's almost 1 o'clock. Let's jump in. Something's going to start in a few minutes. You can jump in, boom, bang it out, get your rewards, maybe bang out some other dailies, do some other things, hit some of the new quests. Next hour comes up, bam, hit another one. This again, things that are available kind of at any time, doesn't really require a lot of other group effort, although I understand that the sort of initial minion waves, the more that you kill, I think the rewards are enhanced in some way. But thematically, right, this fits. The time waves are breaking. We're going to see some really crazy stuff. The Azmurloth, the Murloc version of Azeroth in the game that we saw that was so cool. They mentioned, that was something for them to build on, because it's the great response from us. Again, player response, baby, getting hurt. I love it. Us sticking up for our favorite timelines. Once again, proving that you can take this thing in so many different directions, and really looking forward to trying those out. I hope to see Varian and free him of this sad existence, because he deserves better. Along with these, it seems like kind of hand in hand are something called Aeon's Fringe, which is a daily quest system, which is also going to be featuring famous characters from the past. I don't really want to mention too much there because of what I have seen. It's kind of fun and pretty cool, and I don't want to spoil it, but there are going to be these daily quests that we're going to be able to do. If you recall, in recent times while I was out on vacation, there was quite a bit of hubbub about one of these quests, I believe, where Alexstrasza's forced breeding, which was it's so fucking gross and oogie. Looking back on it, not the best look. That was changed thanks to player feedback. Again, taking player feedback, that's a good thing. They changed some of those things, but looking forward to those quests because the characters involved, again, alternate timelines and things are kind of whatever, timey-wimey, a little weird. It's fun. It's just fun. It's just adding an extra flavor to something that we already know, some of us, a little too well, and maybe upending things or giving another look at what ifs. I think for all of the, disdain that the Marvel Cinematic Universe gets nowadays, I really like the What If series. And I'm one of those people where, sometimes I like to let my mind wander a little bit. Hey, what would have happened if, this fight had happened differently, or if this event had played out differently, or if, this person had lived or died or whatever. Hey, we're going to get to see a little bit of that in our own little fun universe here. So that'll be fun. So keep an eye out for those Aeon's Fringe dailies. Next up, possibly the activity that most people are getting all excited about. is the Whelp Daycare. Whelp Daycare. As I mentioned before, we have done some really gnarly shit in our time on Azeroth, and here we are, being entrusted to become whelp tenders. So what exactly does a whelp tender do? Like, what are we going for here? Well, it turns out the Ruby Life Shrine has too many eggs. There's too many eggs, and they need some help at the Little Scales Daycare. And so we got to wrangle some whelps. And so we're going to get some quests, and they're going to be sending us around to do different little activities to take care of these whelps. My understanding is there are like questline type quests, and then there are daily type quests, and you can complete those. And like most things in Warcraft, like, why are you doing it? Well, I mean, maybe you're doing it because it's fun, maybe because you like to, maybe because, you know, sometimes just going after old gods and giant mad dragons and all that stuff, you know, you need a break. You need a vacation. You need just a little time away in your home, away from home. Why not help take care of some cute little dragons? Oh, fuck not. Why not? What do we get out of it? Other than maybe just a little downtime? Well, there are plenty of rewards. And so by completing your daily quests, you get flight stones, you get gold, and for some of your non-daily quests, you get some pets, some battle pets, and some non-combat battle pets. Courtesy of there's a dragon whelp for each flight: black, red, bronze, blue, and green. I won't go through all the pets here, but there's some pretty cool ones, including a bear cub that, you know, might make a nice addition to my own collection. There are some rewards achievement-wise, where if you complete the Whelp There It Is by finishing every daily quest once, there are 16 of those, you get a little battle pet named Axel. Just a little dragon guy. And there are other ones as well. So I know that this is one that people have gotten pretty excited about because, you know, there's a place for this in Warcraft. Listen, if you were to see me on the street, you're probably, you know, I'm probably not the first person to strike. Like, you know what? That's a whelp tender right there. That's the daycare. That guy likes the Little Scales Daycare quests. Probably not the first person you choose, but you know what? I'm gonna do them because it'd be a nice little break. Do some fun little activities with these guys, and then go back to all the, you know, timeline shattering, chainsaw handed Varian insanity that's going on there. You know, but each has its own place. So keep an eye out for the Whelp Daycare quest, because they are also coming in 10.15, along with something a lot of people have also been waiting for, is an expansion of the dragon racing situations. Now we're going to have the Kalimdor Cup coming. It's going to be a little bit of a wait. It's not happening right away, but from August 15th to the 28th, 16 races will be opening up in Kalimdor. There will be normal, advanced, and the reverse variations of those. And by completing those, you will be able to get currency that you can trade in for some mount customizations. And I believe a transmog that's very similar to the one that the dwarf is wearing in that sort of that secondary cinematic before Dragonflight opened. It's not exactly the same, but it's certainly kind of like its cousin of some type. So if you saw that transmog, like, yeah, I want that, you have a chance. But I gotta ask, right? Kalimdor Cup, you know, second half of August. Where's my Eastern Kingdoms Cup? I want that Karazhan Stormwind race, or you know, all the way down Stranglethorn, or you know, flying around Lordaeron. Those are the ones I'm looking forward to. But I'll take what I can get when I can get it. And backtracking a little bit, I had been under the impression, based on what we had seen, that they were going to be bringing dragon riding to the old world in full, but they've clarified, saying, right, that it's just temporarily through these Kalimdor, Cup races now, and then and whatever the Eastern Kingdoms one will be, and maybe elsewhere. But I mean, they have the tech; they could do it. So, seems like they're gonna just sort of break us in a little bit at a time. Lore-wise, it doesn't make sense or something. But being able to dragon ride and just the old static riding in the old world, it's going to change the game in a really great way. And so looking forward to the races when we get those. And I imagine it's got to be a lot of fun for the devs. Plot this out, to plan this out, to figure out what the courses are, where they want to take us, where they want to go. It's clear that they're also having a lot of fun. So Kalimdor Cup, again, gonna have to wait until August 15th to 28th, but it is on its way, along with the, I guess, delayed but soon to be here Augmentation Evoker. This is now the third spec for the Dracthyr Evokers. I guess just the Evokers, because maybe someday somebody else will be one. But this will be a damage dealing and group fluffer. That's right, you heard me. I said group fluffer. Because they're going to be giving you some extra goods or making you bigger, badder, or better in various ways. And really rigorous unlock requirement for these. I was kind of surprised. No, all you got to do is log in. That's it. No long quest line. No, search for Deathwing's long lost half brother, who lives in Outland. Nothing like that. It just, you log in, you got it, good to go. So have fun trying that out. Interested to see what that does for raid makeups. If I end up with one in my raid, or if I ever see out there in a raid, thank you for the buff. It is a little odd to me. The more I've looked at it, it is a little odd that they just kind of flopped this in on a half patch. Like, were they always intending to do this? Were they late? Could they not figure it out? It's just kind of an odd spot. Nonetheless, here we are. So, Augmentation Evoker on the way. I hope all of you enjoyed having a shot out of it. Those of you who play Augmentation Evoker's coming up. Alongside all of this stuff, there's always the other kind of things here and there. One of the big ones that I can't say enough about is there will now be an ability to track certain transmog items, and it'll tell you where you can get them and how to get them. So like if they're in a raid or a dungeon or a drop or whatever, they will have that information and it'll like ping you on the map and those kinds of things. That is fantastic, because as I have long lamented, I shouldn't have to go to fucking Wowhead for everything and figure, okay, wow, I really like this shoulder piece. Where do I get that from? Well, I gotta log out, or I gotta tab over, see what's going on. Oh, it's okay. Well, now, fuck all that noise. You'll just be able to shift click it, and off you go. And on that note, as I mentioned this guy earlier, Garrosh, Siege of Orgrimmar. One of the greatest transmogs of all time. Those shoulders, just phenomenal, right? Well, that's a long-ass raid, and that's tough to get to. Well, guess what? Starting with this coming patch, you will be able to get a skip. If you've completed that raid, you talk to, I think it's Lore Walker Cho at the entrance, and you'll be able to skip all the way to the end and just run right into that battle. And for transmog runs, my goodness, that is a gift and a half. I think he also drops a mount. I wish they would do this for so many bosses. Lich King, I know it doesn't take that long to run through Icecrown at this point. You basically just have to like literally run through it and one hit everything, and you'll get there. But just to be able to skip to the end, right? Just to get some of those runs in on Horseborn, That would be fantastic. Just get that mount, right? A lot of stuff like that. Just get the skip. You know what we need. You know what we want. So keep an eye out for that. All allied races will be unlocked if you have a character at level 40. So I guess I'm going to check out some different kinds of stuff. Not quite sure. Volpera? No. Magara Orc? Maybe. I think they have the rest unlocked. Warlocks. Well, a lot more people can be warlocks. Will be able to be. And you're going to get some more customizations. That's cool. Along with the Kalimdor Cup. Saw some people comment about this. There are going to be new fog and lighting situations in Kalimdor. Like they've updated the tech. Holy shit, it looks cool as hell. Like they posted some screenshots, some comparison shots. It's unbelievable. Like it is such a, it seems like such a low-key way to update the game. Everybody's talking about, oh, we need Warcraft 2 because the models are shit. I mean, I'm not arguing that, against updating some of these things, but I think this is part of how you do it, is making the world feel, more real, more vibrant, more alive, is updating some of that old tech if you can. So if you haven't taken a look, go out. They posted it in the official post for the patch. It's gorgeous, phenomenal, and I can't wait to see that on the Eastern Kingdoms, to be able to see some of that in a more enhanced light. Really looking forward to that. Along with all of these, there'll be welcome back gifts for characters that have logged out for like 60 days. If you want to, there'll be like a welcome package, and you'll be able to kind of start fresh on your questing. There's a bunch of other tweaks to classes except warriors, because I guess we're perfect. I don't know. There was one little change for the protection warriors. I think they got buffed a little bit, but otherwise, I guess we must be the greatest class of all time. That's all I can say. We're so balanced. This is unbelievable. There are also some interviews. Lastly, there are also some interviews out there. I know Wowhead had one with Ian Hazzikostas that went into a bunch of things, including him once again denying that there is a sword anywhere that might be of importance, stuck on a planet or something. And then some of the usual YouTubers, I want to say, have some interviews going on as well. So keep your eyes out. But all in all, that is what we are looking at in a half patch. A fucking half patch. It's not even a full patch. We're getting this big mega dungeon, a new spec, and like all this other stuff. And this isn't even like one of their cornerstone, 10 point, 1 or 10.2 or 10.3. Like this is a half patch. There's even gonna be one after this, like 10.157 or 10.1.17. Right, no, not 10.157. It's the pace and the content is unbelievable. Like I really hope that this isn't coming at the cost of, labor issues and a bunch of other shit that we're gonna find out later and go, oh god damn it, this is gonna ruin everything. Because this is phenomenal. This is what we've asked for years. It's like drinking out of a fire hose now, and I'm frankly not even sure what to do. It is a little overwhelming. It's better than the alternative. Better than sitting around for a year with fucking nothing. So there you go. I hope everybody has a good time with Fractures in Time. I'm certainly going to try to get into the Mega Dungeon as quickly as I can to see how this story plays out. Probably going to be some videos and cinematics and spoilers and stuff right away. So yeah, we'll probably see that very quickly. And I hope everybody has fun. And I'll be back on the next episode to talk about my impressions of it. And who knows? God, who knows what else we're going to hear by then? Because as soon as this patch comes out, they're going to have the next one out on the PTR. And it's just going to keep on rolling. So it is a new month. It is a new month. It is the month of July. So I don't know. I feel like it's time. I feel like it's time to rate some trading post offerings. We have a bunch. We have a whole bunch this month of July, and so quite a variety this month. And so I'm going to quickly go through one by one, give you my unofficial rating system, which I'm sticking with the same one I got. Nobody seemed to complain about it, so I'm just going to keep going. So first up, we have the for 750 traders tenders, we have the Spectral Tiger Cub.
That's what I'm talking about! That's why he's there than me! That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
It's one of the best of all time. Right there. Spectral Tiger Cub. Anything spectral. The Spectral Tiger Mount, Spectral Tiger Cub. You got it. Next up, 900 traders tender for the Tyrael's Charger.
That's what I'm talking about! That's why he's there than me! That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
This is quite honestly one of the best mounts they've ever made. This was part of the original D3 promotional pack that they did, 10 years ago. And I rode the shit out of this thing. I mean, I didn't, I've switched out since then, but phenomenal mount, gorgeous armor. It just, it was so good. It was so good. Next up, for 650 tenders, we have the Reigns of the Fell Crystal Scorpion.
I mean, it's alright, like...
Yeah, it's a bug. I don't know about these bugs. The color's great. Don't get me wrong. I like this color choice. I like this neon green color choice. It's pretty sweet, but I don't know. Something about the clickety clackety in the thing. Gives me the willies. I don't know. I think that's what I'm gonna sit on. 50 traders tenders, the fabulously flashy finery.
I mean, it's alright, like...
Yeah, it's a shirt. No big deal. Primeval Basher. One-handed mace for 50 traders tenders.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
I don't know why anybody would use it. Ever. Got 2 tooths in it. 2 teeth. I don't know. English is supposed to be my first language. Yeah, not a fan. Next up, polished short sword for 75 traders tender.
I mean, it's alright, like...
Yeah, basic sword. Not gonna hurt anybody. Not really gonna do any major damage, but not offensive. Silvered war cloak for 75 traders tender.
That's what I'm talking about! That's why he's there than me! That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
That is a beautiful cloak. And it's called the fucking war cloak. Gotta give it high ratings. Next up, Ensemble Vagabonds Violet Threads.
I mean, it's alright, like...
Yeah, it's okay. Violet, not a heinous color, but, not my favorite either. Next up, Ensemble Wanderers Violet Trappings for 100 trader tenders, just like the last one.
I mean, it's alright, like...
It's okay. It's okay. Nothing to write home about. I dig that they're doing this whole scarf deal. I like it. Next up, Fists of Polar Fury for 175 traders tender.
That's what I'm talking about! That's why he's there than me! That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
Imagine that coming at your face. Imagine that coming at your face. You'd be scared shitless. That's a great one. Next up, Sinister Fellstaff for 175 trader tender.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
It's like a moldy shillelagh. Not gonna do it. Next up, Mephistroth's Razor for 200 trader tenders.
That's what I'm talking about! That's why he's there than me! That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
You want to go to the stars? Chop up some Algalons? That's the sort of do it right there. That sucker's great. Next up, Helm of the Fierce. 225 traders tenders.
That's what I'm talking about! That's why he's there than me! That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
Big, bad, barbarian horned helm. I'm a sucker for that. Filigreed Lion's Maw, 250 trader tender.
I mean, it's alright, like...
It's kind of half and half. It's pretty good. Like, I really like it, but I don't know. It needs that bottom jaw. It needs that bottom jaw on that lion's face. Next up, Aldori War Mace.
I mean, it's alright, like...
Yeah. Solid. Not offensive, but nothing to write home about. 500 trader tender for that. Next up, 600 trader tender for the Antorin Fellspire.
it's all right. Like,
Yeah, again, cool enough model, but you know, I'm not rushing to go log in to get that sucker. Next up, for 600 trader tender, the two-handed sword known as Conquest.
that's what I'm talking about. That's why he's there, me. That's why he's the GOAT. The GOAT.
If you rated Nax, you got Armageddon, you were the man. That's just all there was to it. This is a recolor of one of the greatest two-handed swords of all time, so you know it's gonna get high ratings around here. Next up, 750 trader tender, Ensemble Sylvan Stalker's Leather.
I mean, it's all right. Like,
Yeah, solid leather. Color's cool. I think it's a recolor of another classic Ensemble, another tier set or something. Yeah, it's leather. What are you gonna say? Next up, the bonus reward. Last up. This is the last up. Bonus reward. The Grotto Netherwing Drake.
that's what I'm talking about. That's why he's there, me. That's why he's the GOAT. The GOAT.
The Netherwing Drakes are still to this day, from BC to today, one of the best, coolest looking Drake models anywhere ever. So, you let me dragon ride one of those things? You're damn right. Gonna get high ratings. So, there you go. There are your July offerings for the trading post. You know, nothing that's like too heinous, honestly. This is a pretty good offering this month. So, if you get a chance, jump on in and get what you need. You still got several weeks by my reckoning here, but there you go. My ratings don't have to be yours, but I gotta get in myself, jump in, do some activities, and get these for my own. And last but not least, I know I'm a little late in the game here since I took my vacation, but I just wanted to say it anyway, and I know they'll never hear it, but I'm just gonna put my fucking stamp on it. Brian Holinka, well-known dev in the World of Warcraft space, been around for a number of years, has left Blizzard. Seen feel like a rash of these nowadays, people splitting off and deciding they've had enough. And so Holinka, affectionately called Swolinka, as he went through a bit of a transformation a few years ago and got freaking jacked. We had a little Swolkin, right? Loved our Swolkin. You know, kind of just a little fun little joke with him. But Brian Holinka has turned in his sword and shield and is going off to work on a new game in a new studio with none other than Greg Street, who you may remember as Ghostcrawler, another dev from back in the day who's been gone from Blizzard seven-ish years now. But apparently they are going to be working on a new game in a totally remote studio or something like that. So it sounds like Ghostcrawler was Holinka's mentor. And so the two of them getting to hook up again. And I think that's great. Now, he had Holinka. He had a tough run, I think, at World of Warcraft, because he was primarily responsible for a lot of PvP stuff, and you know, PvP in World of Warcraft has I don't know if it's ever really run smooth or been great, or people have been really happy with it. So he's got a lot of shit over the years, and I think he's moved around teams. You've seen him in some Dragonflight dev videos, I believe, but always seemed like a super nice, down to earth dude. You know, trying to communicate with the players, maybe sometimes a little too much, but I truly do think he was one of the good ones, and I think he will be missed around this space. But if he was also a mentor to others, hopefully he has passed on that great spirit to them as well. All right. I think we've done enough damage for one episode. My thanks to all of you for listening. And remember, you can always follow me and this show on Twitter, for now, at Berserker Rage and Unshackled_Fury, as well as on Twitch at Unshackled Fury and Real Berserker. I also just opened up a Threads account for Berserker Rage and for Unshackled Fury. So if you want to check that out, I think I have one follower, but I'm not doing anything over there just quite yet. You can also join our Discord, links for which are in the profile of the show on Twitter and on our bonus roll page. Feel free to contact the show with your questions, comments, or otherwise through any of those resources or unshackledfury.com. It's still there. And you can find this show wherever you get your podcasts. So once again, thank you for listening. Remember to keep your swords wet and your banners high, and we'll see you next time. Farewell.